the Chi-Town experience on the flight. Let me go tune in to Keek on the mic. He gon' make sure we get our news and highlights. When you get on YouTube, you better hit the like.
Ben Johnson and the Chicago Bears are off to a really good start. Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. So, Bears fans, as you guys all already know, it was day 2 of Chicago Bears OTAs, and today's practice was open to the media. So we definitely got some pretty interesting updates from day 2 of Chicago Bears OTAs. First and foremost, in regard to the participation, Zach Pearson, Chicago Bears insider, said that he did not see Kyler Gordon, Luther Burden, Elijah Hicks, Terrell Smith, Zach Pickens, Andrew Billings, Braxton Jones, and Ryan Bates. He said that Coastal Leveland was present but did not participate. Ben Johnson did make it very clear when he spoke to the media after practice that Luther Burden is dealing with some soft tissue issues, so hopefully he is okay and can get back onto the practice field in no time. Obviously, the big thing to note here, that something that I found really interesting in today's Chicago Bears OTA practice, was with Braxton Jones still recovering from an injury last year. Karan Amagaji actually took first team reps, and then, obviously Aji Trapillo took second team reps. I am not sure if that was the case for day 1, just for a simple fact that the Chicago Bears didn't open it to media for day 1 of OTA practice. So I'm not sure if Karan Amagaji was splitting first team reps in day 1, but what we know about day 2 is that Karan Amagaji was taking the first team reps at left tackle on this Chicago Bears offensive line. One of the big things I want to note about day 2 of Chicago Bears OTAs, and what basically every single Bears insider was echoing that got a chance to attend this open practice, was Ben Johnson is absolutely intense. He is already creating a very good culture within the Chicago Bears locker room. He actually screamed at Cole Kmet for what appeared to be lining up incorrectly. He was, getting into players' asses about running the wrong route. You can tell that Ben Johnson is very much about paying attention to the little details, because that's what's going to take this offense to be successful, is these little details. According to Mark Carman, that was also there for the open day of Chicago Bears OTAs, he said that Caleb Williams did not have his best day. He said the ball came out slow at times, off the mark, and that's to be expected. It's a new coach. It's going to take some time to get the timing right and the rhythm right when you're looking in regards to Ben Johnson's offense. So I know that Ben Johnson's going to have Caleb Williams up and ready by week 1 of the NFL season. So, seeing these issues on day 2 of OTAs is not going to really get me freaking out as a Chicago Bears fan. And then just another little note about today's OTA practice for the Bears. Case Keenum and Tyson Bagent both took number 2 reps for the backup quarterback spot on the Chicago Bears roster. That's going to be one of those hidden battles, and that's going to be really interesting as we go into training camp. So we'll keep a close eye on that as well. But other than that, really like the intensity that Ben Johnson is bringing, and he even brought some of that intensity into his immediate availability as well. So I'm definitely intrigued to see the culture continue to grow under Ben Johnson. We are officially in a new era of Chicago Bears football. It was obviously great to see Caleb Williams slinging the rock around during OTA practice. Obviously, we saw Roma Dunje running some pretty crisp routes as well. Just those two together, I'm really excited to see the major jump that we will possibly see from them now that Ben Johnson is the new head coach / offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears. So one of the big things I wanted to talk about on today's episode of Keek on the Mic is Ben Johnson during his media availability actually spoke out and responded to that big ESPN article about, what Caleb Williams' dad and Caleb Williams said prior to the 2024 NFL draft. About how he didn't want to be a Chicago Bear, how he wanted to go to the Minnesota Vikings, how, Carl Williams, Caleb Williams' dad, was saying that this is where, this is where quarterbacks go to die, talking about the Chicago Bears, which, he wasn't telling any lies. When you look at the past of Chicago Bears quarterbacks, every single Bears quarterback in recent memory, right, has failed here as the Bears franchise quarterback. So they were telling nothing but lies, but Ben Johnson actually spoke out on this, as you know, it was the big topic of discussion from the Chicago Bears media. And this is how Ben Johnson responded. He said, "It has come to my attention that the quarterback has been out in the media. I wasn't here last year, so I can't speak to what it was like before he got here. But from my 4 months on the job, he has been outstanding to work with." He also responded in regards to when one of the Chicago Bears media members asked him about what Carl Williams had to say about this is where quarterbacks come to die when he was talking about the Chicago Bears. And Ben Johnson said with a lot of confidence and, "Hey, I wasn't here before, but what a great opportunity for me to come in here along with Caleb Williams and to change that narrative." So you can tell that gives Ben Johnson some motivation to change that narrative. And once again, Carl Williams and Caleb Williams, I understand their concerns prior to the 2024 NFL draft that, in the past, this is where quarterbacks have come to die. But it seems that now with Ben Johnson in the fold, obviously what Ryan Poles did during the offseason by, revamping the interior offensive line and giving Caleb Williams whipping on the outside, basically giving Caleb Williams everything he needs to be successful as a Chicago Bears quarterback here in Chicago. It seems that they are trying to officially change that narrative of this is where quarterbacks come to die. So if Caleb Williams fails here, and let's say, Ben Johnson's doing his thing, let's say, the receivers are doing their thing, the offensive line's giving them time to throw, and Caleb Williams is just struggling, then for the first time in a very long time, it will be on the quarterback, not the Chicago Bears organization. But I know that Caleb Williams is in good hands. Ben Johnson is motivated to change that narrative. And just for the record, just my stance on this, because I've seen, many different people on social media displeased that, Caleb Williams didn't speak today. Just to kind of get the elephant out of the room and just say, hey, Caleb Williams, what were you thinking when you were, talking about the Chicago Bears prior to the 2024 NFL draft? It doesn't bother me too much. I think eventually we'll hear Caleb Williams and he'll be very professional on what he was thinking. To me, I don't think it causes a distraction within the locker room. But in no time, we will get to hear from Caleb Williams, but it did not bother me that they chose not to let him speak today. I am totally okay with that. But Bear fans, overall, a really good start for Ben Johnson on day 2 of Chicago Bears OTAs. Once again, looking forward to seeing these practices pile up and watching Caleb Williams and the rest of the players on the roster continue to get better. But if you guys enjoy these little Bears practice updates right here on Geek on the Mic, make sure you guys continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Geek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, be back for our all new Bears podcast right here on Geek on the Mic. Thanks, guys. And as always, bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic. You can go and subscribe because I be on it right.